All right, guys, so the woke activists are back at it again. Yesterday, I covered a story about the woke pro-Palestinian activists that shut down a major highway in Seattle and the fact that police essentially chose to do nothing about it, okay? They sat there and watched and essentially try to negotiate with domestic terrorists, okay, in regards to the highway being shut down, okay? No arrests were made despite the fact that these people were breaking the law, okay? And it didn't matter that there were emergency vehicles, like, for example, an ambulance that was trying to get through, potentially, I don't know, to save somebody's life, okay? They didn't give a damn, okay? They thought that their protest was much more important than people having to live their lives, go to their jobs, and again, potentially having to save lives, okay? So now we have the pro-Palestinian protests. They have showed up to New York City, okay? And they're blocking major tunnels and bridges in New York, and people are fed up, okay? People are not having it anymore. For example, there's a video going viral of a man who went off on the pro-Palestinian protesters blocking a major road in New York City. He said that, hey, I have a daughter to get to, get out the way, and they refused, and he then had to physically push the protesters because they would not move. And you can see this guy's frustration. This is the frustration that a lot of people in this country are feeling when it comes to these woke extremists. Take a look.
Disrupting traffic, idiots. You can't do that. That's against the law. I'm not to start throwing fists at y'all, bro. I'm not gonna run y'all over. Get away from my car, bro.
Okay, whoa.
Get away from my car. Get away from my car. Bro, get away from my car. I have a daughter in Brooklyn.
Don't touch him. Get in your car.
Get the fuck out of the way.
Run him over. Don't touch him.
Get out of the way. I have to get home.
Run him over.
Let him go. Run him over.
Yeah, so I 100% feel this guy's frustration, right? 100% feel this guy's frustration, okay? And that is what regular, everyday, normal citizens who have jobs, who have things to do on a Monday in the middle of the day, okay? Again, apparently they're doing this because, again, they don't have jobs. They don't have things to do, which, you know, by the way, tells us, you know, how we definitely should be cutting the social safety net for these people because, again, the fact that they're able to just do this on a Monday in the middle of the day tells you that they don't have a job and somebody's supporting them, probably the government, probably some other big money woke donor groups that are supporting these types of protests, this chaos. Yeah, this guy was like, you know what? I'm done with this, okay? You have to get out the way, okay? I'm going to physically move you out the way or I'm going to run you over if you do not move, okay? So, again, this is happening, okay, as 325 people were arrested, okay, in the New York City area for blocking major bridges, okay? So, unlike Seattle, the New York police actually arrested these individuals for committing this act of domestic terrorism. So, without further ado, let's actually get into it.
And we begin with breaking news. More than 100 people under arrest after pro-Palestinian demonstrators blocked some of the main ways out of Manhattan, creating a traffic nightmare.
The Brooklyn Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge, the Williamsburg Bridge, and the Holland Tunnel, all briefly shut down by protesters.
And so you know it's coordinated, right? You know it's coordinated because they've essentially shut down most of the major entries into Manhattan, right? So they decided to do it all at one time. Now, think about how much chaos and destruction that caused in a city like Manhattan, where you have thousands upon thousands of cars coming in and out of the city, where you have all the major entries and exit ways are blocked off by woke activists. Again, it's already hectic enough without them being there trying to get into the city. Imagine this on top of it. Yeah, people are going to lose their minds, right? This is insanity. This is insane. But again, this is where we've gotten to in this country because we do not enforce the laws on the books, right? We don't have law and order, and these people have been emboldened to cause this type of chaos. It's extremely frustrating, right? I'm frustrated just making a video.
All been reopened now.
At least 120 protesters were arrested at the Holland Tunnel alone after they blocked a New Jersey-bound passage.
And just look at this. This was the scene at all 4 of those locations right around 9:30 this morning. A chaotic scene across Manhattan.
Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg live at the Brooklyn Bridge with the very latest. Lauren.
Yeah, David and Charlene, we are on the Manhattan side of the Brooklyn Bridge, and traffic was allowed to finally pass through about 45 minutes ago. You take a look behind me, and there's really no sign that there was a protest here earlier today blocking all of those cars. That protest, again, as you said, targeting 3 bridges and 1 tunnel. Let's take a look at the Holland Tunnel now. It was blocked by a line of people. They actually blocked a number of areas from Canal to Hudson Street. That caused backup of cars on Canal and Hudson Street and over to the West Side Highway. This happened at about 9:30, 10 this morning, and less than an hour later, police were able to move in and make arrests. We understand that they made 120 arrests, 120 people arrested just at the Holland Tunnel, and that tunnel has reopened since. It was also a similar situation over at the Williamsburg Bridge, where cars could not get across because of protesters there. In fact, at the Williamsburg Bridge, protesters, we understand, locked themselves to the bridge and had to be cut free by police before they were arrested over there at the Williamsburg.
Wow. Again, wow. They're lucky that they didn't receive a Darwin Award for this, okay? But as you guys can see on video, the guy I showed you isn't the only person that went off on these protesters. There was a lot of people that was going off on these protesters for doing this, okay? I mean, people are fed up, okay? And it's stuff like this. This is what's going to win Trump the election, right? Stuff like this is what's going to win Trump the election. People are getting fed up with the extremism in this country coming from these far left lunatics. I'm so serious.
Bridge. And all of this was really frustrating to drivers. We saw one incident where a driver really had no patience for the protests and just wanted to get where he was going. And we heard from some drivers who were frustrated by the impact this was having on their commute.
I gotta pay rent, I gotta go to work, I got a mouth to feed, a young son. I can't do anything about Netanyahu and his war.
Exactly, right? That's exactly what I said yesterday. I said, I don't know how many people are going to be caught up in traffic because of these protests and think to themselves, I'm going to change my mind when it comes to what's happening over there in Israel and Palestine, or that, I'm going to do something about it, or that it's going to change anything because of these woke extremists making normal everyday people's lives miserable over something that's happening overseas. Again, it's ridiculous.
I would like them to move.
This is wrong. This is crazy. People are going to lose their jobs behind this. I'm one of them. I live in Williamsburg. I can't even get home.
And the Manhattan and Brooklyn bridges also closed by traffic by protesters, closed to traffic by protesters. Both have since reopened. Again, this was a pro-Palestinian protest, a call for Israel to end its war on Hamas. Israel has, by the way, scaled back its battling even in the last day, but it is still looking to destroy Hamas after the October 7th attack in Israel. Hamas still holding more than 150 people. So that is the latest. All the bridges and the tunnel finally reopened after this morning's protest.
Yeah, so it's just not enough to arrest them. You have to charge them to the full extent of the law, and you lock them up, okay? You actually punish them to the fullest extent of the law, okay? Because until these people actually start facing consequences for their actions, this is going to continue, okay? This is going to continue. And this is why it's happening in the first place, because we have dealt with 3 to 4 years of nothing but left-wing extremists getting away with their domestic terrorism and not facing any consequences. So when they finally start facing some consequences, that's when you will see an end to this. But until then, you're going to keep seeing it, right? If they just arrest these people and then they let them out the next day, right, and they don't actually face any real consequences, what's stopping them from doing it again? Nothing. So again, it's time for our law enforcement and our criminal justice system to actually do their job when it comes to dealing with woke extremism in this country. And the last thing you want is for a situation like this to escalate out of control and something to happen that nobody wants to see happen, because law enforcement and the criminal justice system aren't doing their job to deter this type of activity in the first place. If you start enforcing laws on the books, you start locking up these people, throwing away the key, actually punishing them for participating in this act of domestic terrorism, then you'll see less of it. But until then, you know, you're running the risk of one of these situations getting out of control and something happening that, again, nobody wants to see happen in this country, and something that shouldn't happen, especially when you're talking about protesting for a conflict that's happening overseas. And these protests are not doing a damn thing in order to affect the outcome of what's happening overseas. If you're going to protest, you need to protest peacefully to the people that are responsible for whatever type of, you know, issue that you have, okay, aka Democrats. Protest Democrats, okay? Show up to town hall, show up to DC, okay? Protest in the places, or protest the people that actually have something to do with the conflict. Everyday normal Americans don't have that much to do with what's going on overseas, and there's no need to punish everyday people because of some issue that you have with some foreign conflict. It doesn't make sense. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.